Over the past few days that I've not been posting, I have been busy creating new solutions. So this is the incident management application. We then went ahead to build the observation management, and then we also have the HSE performance management. Now we call this management application just because it goes through a cycle. It has a workflow. So let's look at incident management. Basically, you're reporting incidents, you're initiating investigation, you're logging in findings from investigation, you're identifying actions from those findings, and you're assigning them to people to close their actions, and then there is a dashboard. So that's similar workflow for observation. Observation also, we report observation, we escalate them to critical finding, we use those findings to create actions, and then people can log in to my action to see which actions have been assigned to them, and then there's a dashboard. The same thing with HSE performance management. We create KPIs. Basically, we submit our KPIs. After creating them, we can view records and complete our KPIs, or just see the records of KPIs that we've completed or the ones that are pending, and then there is an action. So more or less KPI performance review. You're going to identify some actions, and we're going to use those actions, assign them to people for them to close those actions, and then there's a dashboard. So this is what we call the management process. So, and we are trying to build this for a lot of health and safety processes. In fact, every health and safety process that comes to mind, we're going to build an application for this. Now, this is not just within Microsoft environments or within Microsoft Teams. We also have it on mobile. So basically on mobile also, we have them within Power App, the app itself. So I'm just going to locate Power App. There I have it here. And then basically I'm going to find a long list of applications that we've been building. So this is an ecosystem that we are building. A lot of applications. And if you're part of our journey, you're going to love health and safety because we are digitizing health and safety. We're making it mobile friendly at the same time, easy for people to access right within Microsoft Teams. Okay, so we have the HSE performance management over here. We have an inspection management. This is something we are still building. And we have the observation management, the incident management. So basically we have completed 3 applications. So let's look at the HSE performance management. So this is how it looks. Create new health and safety KPI. Submit is exactly the same thing. Create new, submit, view records, action, my action, and then the dashboard. The same thing with, the incident management. So I just come to incident management, and then we're going to see the same screen. All right, so basically we have the incident, the investigation, the findings, the actions, my action, and the dashboard. And then observation management, also the same thing, okay? Observation, critical findings, action. So why this? This is what we call like the digitization of health and safety, making sure that every single process that requires collection of data is collected at source. We don't even want to transfer that into a paper, and then we are now trying to transfer that from paper or even an Excel sheet into a system. No, we are collecting primary data right from the source, and we collect it and host it as a database. So basically a system like this will need a database. And so for example, the observation management app like this has a database, and the database is basically being hosted on Dataverse. So this is the back end of, the template, or I wouldn't even call it template, the software, because we are no more building template. Now we are building software. All right. So observation, we have the findings, actions, and then we have some classification. So the approved list that you probably have in Excel, that's what we have here, which you have to set it up to start using them, right? And so these are all more or less dimension tables to the fact table. So the fact table is observation. At this point, we don't have any data. We intentionally deleted the data. So we all go through the process of data collection. So I'm going to be, submitting some data, one template at a time. But this is just an introduction. So why are we moving away from Excel? Now, the thing is that Excel is good, but it's actually good for personal use. Excel can be complex depending on how it has been built. I mean, given the fact that you want to do something amazing, which looks very enterprise, you're potentially going to have a lot of columns, which are all connected to pivot tables, and for that reason you cannot just delete a column or even rename a column because it's going to affect pivot table, and you need to know a little bit of pivot tables to be able to use Excel, especially when it comes to very complex systems that we've built. Like we have a lot of them. For example, if I go and look at the HSE performance monitoring tool, right, the manager version, let's try and put it side by side with the HSE management or performance management. Let's see what's happening here. So as you can see from this Excel sheet, so let's just wait for it to load. Okay, so basically we have a lot of KPIs, a lot of them, and this is very common. I do get people reach out to me like, hey, can you analyze our KPIs for us? How many are they? About 50. And I tell them, hey, take it easy. 50 KPIs. You want all of them on one dashboard. That's not possible. You need to prioritize. So because of that, we are probably going to be having a lot of dashboards. So that's why we have the HS performance dashboard, we have the HS target dashboard, because you need to look at different contexts of reporting so that you can actually provide those dashboards to meet the needs of stakeholders. So health and safety is such a big deal that we want to track a lot of KPIs. Now, when it comes to this one, you can actually scale up or scale down. You can literally set up only 5 KPIs just because of your scope of operations, or you can have over 100 KPIs. So I'm going to be showing you a lot more about how this management system works. Now, I may want to call it a management system. This is a system support for health and safety, not just an Excel sheet. And it goes through the process of CRUD. We call something CRUD, which is creating, reading, updating, and deleting. It is very important that whenever we are collecting data, we are building data, or we are working with data, we create a system where there is a flow. You can create, you can read, you can update, and you can delete. When you are submitting data in Microsoft Forms or Google Forms, you don't go through the process of CRUD. You create, submit, and you don't even read it. You don't even undo it. You can't delete it. It's already gone. But this one supports CRUD operation, and that is very, very good. And again, it supports what we call approval workflow. So whenever you create a record, you can either save it as drafts, so you can delete it, or you can work on it. And once you submit it, you cannot delete it because that's go through approval. Somebody would have to approve it. Once approved, it is added to the database. So everything is going to be happening right within the database. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is just a quick introduction to what we've been building. We are building Microsoft applications right within Microsoft Power Platform, and we're leveraging Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate, and Microsoft Teams so that everybody can work smart as safety professionals. All right. Now, this is not to mean that we are deprecating or we are sort of forgetting about Excel. Excel is very, very good. We have a long list of Excel templates over here that you can use on a personal level. But if you want to be more smart with corporate solution, then we have this one for you. It comes with email notifications and Teams notifications. And so everything that is happening within the app is going to notify all the stakeholders involved. So I believe that you're going to find this very, very exciting. So just brace up as I come your way with a lot of insight about how these software work. All right. So I'm going to see you guys in another video. Bye for now. Cheers.